Hi, Ron. As many of you know, my name is Lawrence Christoffels. I'm the founder of Ethical Trade Alliance, and we have our global launch taking place on Friday, 20th of March at the National Museum in Canberra. So now I'm absolutely ecstatic to announce that Michael Outram, former Commissioner of Border Force here in Australia, as much as many other things, has agreed kindly to be our keynote speaker. So I have the pleasure now of having him on a quick interview to discuss that. So Michael, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being part of this exciting event.
Thanks, Lawrence. It's great to be with you and the team, and I'm really looking forward to the event later on next month. Very passionate about ethical trade, and as you know, and so to work with the ETA will be great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. For the audience, I'd love to just really talk about some of your background, how you came to be the Commissioner of Border Force before stepping away. Tell us about your journey in I suppose, enforcement and global trade.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I actually started off pounding beats in London as a bobby about 45 years ago, longer than I care to count now. And that journey as a police officer in London, I became a detective and ended up investigating corruption. Long story short, they sent me to Australia on an exchange program when the Olympics was on to look at what New South Wales Police had done implementing the recommendations of the Wood Royal Commission. We liked Australia a lot though. And so I ended up moving here. I worked at the Independent Commission Against Corruption in Sydney, worked at the Australian Crime Commission, now the ACIC. I was an assistant commissioner at the Australian Federal Police, back in policing. And then I became the deputy CEO at Customs. And when I made that move, I remember this, as a police officer, I thought I knew everything about borders. 10 years later, I realized how little I knew. Customs, and when I became the Commissioner of the Border Force, I started working closely with industry. I set up an advisory board, and I learned so much about our supply chains, our borders, and about the economic importance of that work to our country. And the way we regulated then, for me, became not so much about doing things to industry, but with industry. Through the pandemic, we had some tough times together, but I really benefited so much from the knowledge and the wisdom of my industry colleagues and partners. And so now I've left the ABF about 18 months ago. I'm in this thing they call a transition. I hope it ends. I'm still learning. So I'm really looking forward to the event. But now I'm advising a number of companies, including VMI, who you know very well, and a few other technology companies who operate generally in the border space internationally to try and continue to add value. And of course, ethical trade, sustainable trade, ESG reporting is all part of it. That visibility, we're all looking for the same thing ultimately, which is, de-risking, speeding things up, doing things more efficiently. And I think government needs that too. So I have a lot to say on that. I've just written an occasional paper for the Australian National University. It was published a couple of weeks ago. It will be occasional. It was 13,000 words. So I understand now why they call it an occasional paper. But please have a read before we get together. I'll be very happy to talk about that. And I'm looking forward to the event very much.
No, thank you, Michael. I absolutely will read that. I saw it come through, and it's on my definite list of things to read to make sure that, because as part of our journeys to make sure that we're across all those type of nuances and latest challenges and opportunities in that as well. I can definitely vouch for what you said earlier, Michael, about your support of industry and the way that you've invited them during your time as Commissioner of Border Force. So many of them, you're so well respected and admired in the way that you did make it inclusive, and especially through some of those navigating those tough times, as you mentioned as well. So I know the industry was really sad to see you go, and but glad to hear that you're still involved with global trade in some form or fashion and haven't sort of hung up the boots, just so to speak, just yet.
Funny story on that. I tried golf and got tennis elbow. Not for me.
Well, Michael, I mean, you've got so much more to contribute. Your experience is phenomenal, and I can't wait to hear what you've got to say at Ethical Trade Alliance Global Launch, Friday, 20th of March at the National Museum. Absolute privilege for us to have you there, and thank you so much for agreeing to that. Best of luck with your career. I'll be reading the paper before we get together up in Canberra, and I'll look forward to seeing you there in a few weeks.
Great. Thanks, Lawrence.
Thanks, Michael. Take care.